What's going on everyone? In this video I want to talk about breaking into Windows domains using group policy preferences. If you've never heard of group policy preferences, it's basically a legacy way for IT administrators to administer their network, apply group policy using group policy preferences. So it's a file within a domain controller which holds usually an administrator's username and an encrypted password. So the reason us as an attacker can use this is because that encrypted password can actually be decrypted because Microsoft released the key for it, which is pretty handy. So in this video I'm going to show you how to find that group policy preferences file and the encrypted password to decrypt it and use it to gain entry to the Windows domain. So let's get straight into that now. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you get on a client site or start an engagement is either try and gain a user using responder, man in middle six, something like that, because typically you do need a user to talk to the domain controller to start with. However, this isn't always the case, and that's what happens in this scenario, which I'm about to show you. So once you know your domain controller, you'll probably know it because it's got something like DNS and Kerberos and LDAP. That's typically signs of a domain controller. You can go ahead and query that for its shares. So to do that, you can do crackmap exec with the SMB flag, the IP address of the domain controller, and you can use null shares by putting no username and password like so, and the shares flag. So as you can see here, this domain controller has multiple shares, but the only share readable by this null user, the anonymous login, is the replication. So this is actually a misconfiguration on the domain controller. Group policy preferences tends to be in the sysvol share. However, we don't have read access to that. You would if you had a normal user on the domain, but we don't at the moment. So what we're going to do is look in this replication share to give you an idea of something you might see on an engagement. So if we use SMB client to get into the replication share, we've logged in as the anonymous, those blank username and password. Just do an ls on that. And you can see here that we've got active.hdb. So active is the domain. So we could probably tell here that this is a replication of the group policies from that domain. So as you can see, policies, scripts, and this is what you see in sysvol. So we need to find the group policy preferences file. So the best way to do that is by using this command. So the same SMB client replication share as we showed before, but use the C flag with recurse and ls, and that's going to give you a listing of everything in that share. So group policy preferences is found in machine preferences groups, and it's groups XML, which we're interested in. So as this loads, you can see here, we can see straight away a groups XML file. So we know that group policy preferences may exist here. So let's go ahead and go to this path. So we know it's policies, the identifier here, machine preferences groups. So just going to go copy that, go back to the other SMB client that I've got going on here and cd to that directory, and you can see the groups XML file. So we want to get this because we want to see what's in it. So just get groups XML. I'm going to exit out of this so I can read the file, because by getting it, that's uploaded it to my Kali box. And this is what the file looks like. Let me just clear that so then we can see it better. So in a group policy preferences file, you'll tend to see administrator credentials here, because group policy preferences can be used to create shares on a machine or add a local administrator account to a machine, all when setting up group policy. So you'll see here is the administrative username, active hack the box is the domain name, this is the username, and you'll be more interested in C password. So this string here is actually the encrypted password for this user on the domain. Kali's very handily given us a GPP decrypt binary we can use. So if we pop that string in there, which we get from C password, and enter that in, we can see straight away that the password for this user is GPP still standing strong 2018. So take the user that we've also seen in this file here, and you can use that to log in to the machine, usually as an administrator. So this could be a very quick way to domain administrator. This happens all the time in more legacy networks, but I've seen it multiple times. So the access we had before, if we can see by the shares, is we could only see replication, and that was the only one we could read, the only share we could read with the anonymous login. Now, if we try and log in with the same thing, but we're using the username and password of this administrator user potentially, we should have more access, which we do. So now we can read the sysvol, we can read users, we can read net logon. It's not an administrator user. Typically they are. In this case here, they're not, but at least it's a method of gaining entry to the Windows domain, so you can try and privilege escalate from here. But as I say, more often than not, it's an administrator user, and you'll have domain admin within probably 10 minutes of getting on a network if this exists. So definitely something to try out if you're struggling to get a user on the network, or if you have a user on a network and you're trying to escalate your privileges to admin. This is a really cool thing to try. It's still out there, still prevalent. Definitely go and try it. Thanks for watching, guys. Give us a like and a subscribe. See you again.